If you came here for the fashion highs, the fashion disasters, and everything in between, you're exactly where you need to be. Because the Berlin Film Festival 2026 did not hold back. This carpet delivered spectacle, elegance, confusion, and a few looks that honestly felt like dares gone wrong. Some stars arrived like they were born for this exact moment, while others, well, let's just say their stylists might be avoiding eye contact right now. So settle in, because we're diving straight into the looks that stunned, the ones that stumbled, and the moments people will still be talking about long after the cameras stopped flashing. The Berlin Film Festival always brings cinematic energy, but the red carpet this year felt like its own storyline. You had drama, restraint, bold risks, and quiet victories all unfolding at the same time. Some celebrities leaned fully into fantasy, delivering gowns that looked like they belonged in a modern fairy tale, while others tried to push boundaries and ended up somewhere between experimental and unfinished. It was unpredictable in the best and worst ways. Gemma Chan set the tone early, and honestly, she didn't just show up, she floated in like the entire event had been waiting for her arrival. Draped in a soft blush pink halter-neck gown, she embodied a kind of effortless elegance that didn't need to shout to be noticed. The color alone worked like magic against her complexion, glowing without ever feeling overpowering. It was the kind of shade that could easily fade into the background on the wrong person, but on her, it became the entire moment. The design itself carried that same quiet confidence. The halter neckline transitioned smoothly into subtle cutouts along the bodice, adding just enough intrigue without turning the look into something risky or overthought. And then the skirt, layered horizontally in a way that created texture and movement, caught the light with every step. It wasn't just a dress, it moved like it had its own rhythm. Everything about the fit felt intentional, like it had been crafted specifically for her frame. No pulling, no awkward tension, just clean, flowing lines. Styled with delicate accessories and understated heels, the entire look stayed cohesive. It was soft, controlled, and completely captivating. Right after that, Sandra Huller came in with a completely different approach and proved that you don't need a sweeping gown to dominate a red carpet. Instead of leaning into traditional glamour, she chose a structured black tweed midi jacket dress that radiated authority. The silhouette was sharp, with defined shoulders and a tailored fit that felt powerful without trying too hard. It stood out immediately, not because it was loud, but because it was so intentional. The fabric itself added another layer of depth. Rich, textured tweed gave the look a sense of luxury that didn't rely on sparkle or embellishment. Gold buttons lined the front, adding a classic touch, while feathered cuffs introduced just enough drama to keep things interesting. It wasn't chaotic or excessive, it was controlled, polished, and confident. Paired with sleek leggings, classic heels, and subtle diamond accents, everything about the styling reinforced the same message. Nothing was random, nothing felt forced. It was quiet luxury done right, and it worked. Then came Michelle Yeoh, who approached the carpet like someone who already knew she had nothing to prove. Her off-white strapless gown leaned into simplicity at first glance, but the details told a different story. The beadwork along the bodice shimmered with precision, adding dimension without overwhelming the design. It didn't sparkle for attention, it shimmered with purpose. The structure of the gown was equally impressive. Clean lines created a strong silhouette, while subtle folds near the lower half added texture in a way that felt elevated rather than decorative. The fit was flawless, hugging her frame in a way that looked effortless but clearly wasn't accidental. And then the styling brought everything together. A statement choker, stacked bangles, and coordinated heels added personality without disrupting the elegance. It was balanced, refined, and powerful in a way that didn't rely on excess. But not every moment hit the mark. Dua Lipa's appearance sparked immediate conversation, and not necessarily for the right reasons. There's no denying her presence. She has that effortless kind of beauty that commands attention without trying. But the black netted off-the-shoulder gown she wore didn't do her any favors. The sheer design leaned heavily into a formula we've seen too many times before. Visible lingerie, dramatic transparency, and an attempt at edgy glamour that ended up feeling repetitive rather than fresh. Instead of enhancing her presence, the dress competed with it. The fit around the neckline looked slightly restrictive, and the overall construction didn't elevate the look. When the most noticeable part of an outfit becomes what's underneath it, something has gone off track. It didn't feel like a red carpet moment. It felt like something better suited for a different setting entirely. Amanda Seyfried brought things back into focus with a look that felt almost architectural in its precision. Her gown sculpted her upper body with clean lines before expanding into a dramatic, voluminous skirt. It created a silhouette that felt bold but controlled, dramatic without tipping into costume territory. The embellishments were placed with intention, drawing the eye vertically and elongating her frame. They shimmered in a way that felt polished rather than overwhelming. The styling stayed minimal, allowing the craftsmanship to take center stage. Everything about the look felt calculated in the best way possible. It wasn't about taking risks, it was about executing perfection. Charli XCX, on the other hand, leaned into minimalism but didn't quite land the impact. Her black strapless satin gown initially read as sleek and modern, but the more you looked at it, the more it felt incomplete. The structure lacked support, and the silhouette didn't deliver the sharpness needed to carry such a simple design. Minimalism can be powerful when it's done with precision, but here it felt like something was missing. There was no standout detail, no unexpected twist, nothing to anchor the look. It didn't feel intentional, it felt unfinished, and on a carpet where every detail matters, that absence becomes noticeable. Zazie Beetz brought a bold concept with her patterned two-piece set, and for a moment it felt like it could turn into something memorable. The print itself was strong, graphic, and full of personality, but the execution didn't quite match the vision. The skirt held its own, offering structure and movement, but the top lacked the same level of intention. It felt loose, slightly unstructured, and disconnected from the rest of the look. Instead of elevating the print, it diluted its impact. The potential was there, but without strong tailoring, the overall effect fell short. Pamela Anderson delivered one of the most refreshing moments of the night with a gown that embraced color in a way that felt confident and alive. The blend of pink and green created a striking visual contrast that immediately stood out. It wasn't subtle, but it wasn't overwhelming either. It was balanced. The silhouette supported the boldness of the colors, with a fitted bodice and a flowing skirt that added movement. The addition of a matching shawl elevated the entire look, giving it a sense of drama that felt intentional rather than excessive. Styled with coordinated accessories, everything worked together seamlessly. It was vibrant, confident, and undeniably memorable. Bella Ramsey kept things minimal with a tailored black ensemble, but the simplicity didn't translate into impact. The look was clean and well-constructed, but it lacked that extra element needed to elevate it from good to memorable. It felt safe, and on a red carpet like Berlin, safe doesn't always stand out. Florence Hunt's look faced a similar issue. The individual pieces had charm, but together they didn't create a cohesive moment. The short, sheer skirt in particular didn't carry the weight of the occasion. It felt more casual than cinematic, and the overall combination lacked the presence needed for such a major event. Channing Tatum approached the carpet with restraint, opting for sharp, classic tailoring that emphasized fit and proportion. There was nothing flashy about it, but that was the point. The suit fit perfectly, the lines were clean, and the overall look felt polished. It was a reminder that sometimes simplicity, when executed well, is more than enough. Juliette Binoche delivered a masterclass in timeless elegance, choosing refinement over trends. Her look leaned into clean lines and fluid structure, allowing the design to speak without unnecessary embellishment. It was controlled, graceful, and quietly powerful. Ethan Hawke brought a relaxed approach to tailoring, balancing structure with comfort. His look felt natural, almost effortless, as if he had simply stepped into the spotlight without overthinking it. That ease became its own kind of statement. Neil Patrick Harris added a touch of personality to classic tailoring, incorporating subtle details that gave the look dimension without overwhelming it. It was playful, polished, and perfectly balanced. Sam Rockwell proved that a well-cut suit paired with the right attitude can still hold its own against more elaborate looks. His presence added an edge that elevated the simplicity of his outfit. Isabelle Huppert took a risk with an oversized, structured suit that leaned heavily into avant-garde territory. While the concept was strong, the proportions overwhelmed her frame, creating a look that felt more experimental than refined. Amelia Schul brought a sense of softness back to the carpet with a delicate, flowing gown that emphasized movement and lightness. It felt refreshing after so many heavy, structured looks. Elle Fanning embraced ethereal elegance, wearing a gown that moved with a quiet, cinematic quality. It wasn't loud, but it didn't need to be. It held attention through subtlety. Lucas Gage arrived with a modern, streamlined suit that highlighted sharp tailoring and confident styling. It was clean, intentional, and perfectly suited for a rising star moment. Hiam Abbas closed things out with a look that emphasized presence over spectacle. Her outfit leaned into structure and refinement, allowing her natural authority to take center stage. And just when you thought the night couldn't circle back, Gemma Chan's moment still lingered, reminding everyone that sometimes the most powerful statement isn't the loudest one. It's the one that feels effortless, intentional, and completely in control.